What is up, everybody? I'm Nick with Matt from Multirotors, and today we have a frame that I've been waiting on for a long time now. This is OAS's new modular X-frame racing quadcopter, aptly named the Mod X. Now, y'all know I'm a huge fan of their Wasp 230, but this thing so far is absolutely just amazing to me. Let's go take a look at it. So when you get your Mod X and open it up and pull it out of the kit, you're going to find everything is nice and neat packaged. You get your pre-cut frame. Nice and thick. Looks to be 4 millimeter carbon fiber. You're gonna get your center pod, base plate, and roof, which again, 4 millimeter carbon fiber. Come on, camera. Yes and yes. A little aluminum camera mount. Fastener kit, which has all your bits and pieces, nylon standoffs, screws, aluminum standoffs, lock nuts, regular nuts. You get these two little plastic printed plates to mount a VTX or receiver on. And last but not least, my personal favorite part of this is their custom-made PDB from Aero Probing. Now this PDB gives you a spot for each one of your ESC connections, as well as the signal and ground wire, and it allows you to quick disconnect from the flight controller. The whole point of this Mod X is that it's modular. You build your little centerpiece plate here, and then you use female headers on here to plug into it, so you can pop it off and plug it back in again. Now this does have two 12 volt 2 amp BECs and a 5 volt BEC. I got that backwards. 12, 12, 5. So you can run all your power board and everything off here. No need for a Palulu or anything like that. And it also has 12 volt outputs for LEDs. So this is actually a very well designed, very pretty PDB. Should let you incorporate everything. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this modular piece works. It looks like there's going to be enough space between this and the top for a full-size plug. But we're going to check it out and see how it goes. Now this whole frame goes for $90 from OAS Hobby. It's on their website now, should be available. It's 4 millimeter carbon. Oh, and it does have a filter on it for your camera noise and video noise. So this should be a very well designed PDB, and I can't wait to put this thing together. Right, guys, I'm about halfway through this build, and I just want to take a minute to show you how this thing works. So say you're out flying, you're at the races, you're hauling butt, and a motor fails, or an ESC fails, or you break the lower plate, or you're not happy with the setup. All you got to do is grab your quad, and 5 quick screws later. And then, boom, your whole top pod comes off. Now you might wonder, how the hell is this possible? Well, this thing is designed so that your essential electronic components, i.e. the flight controller and your FPV gear, sit in the top, and then through the bottom you run a series of servo wires, little short ones, which connect to the plate right here. Now this PDB really is an interesting work of art. OAS designed this for this frame, so it has 2 built-in 12 volt regulators and 1 5 volt regulator, and it's well labeled so you can see, come on, where each motor attaches and which wire is which. You can see the ESC is labeled G and negative, which corresponds to G right here and negative. And again, they are labeled. So OAS, by the way, I have talked to and is actually going to make a plug that is designed to fit this specifically. But for now, female servo wires just connect right in. They're soldered up to the bottom of your flight controller board instead of pins or straight connection. Pops through the hole, plug it in real quick, bolt her back up, and boom, you're ready to go with either a second quad or replacement quad, whatever you want to do. It's a pretty awesome setup. So this thing's all put together, and I honestly think this may have been one of the coolest frames I've gotten to work on in a while. The big complaint I'm hearing in the quad world is, how do we regulate the races? How do we set a set standard of this is what you fly? Kind of like NASCAR, you know, this motor set, this power set, this ESC set. I honestly think this Mod X may have answered a large majority of that. For starters, I'm going to show y'all one more time because I think it's flippin' cool. And because I designed a little plug in here that OAS will be designing on their own in the future. Oh, sorry guys, first cup of coffee, I'm moving a little slow this morning. So pop out your screws, move the top, and then unplug. And now you're separated. As you can see, I've actually made a little plug. You can glue all your, servo wires together. I just use female leads. Solder them across and then seal them off with hot glue. And it just plugs in like so. Then, the next part that I love about this thing, little pod that has all your video transmitter, receiver, everything else. You would think, oh, this is kind of difficult to get to. But in reality, there's your video transmitter. There's your receiver. There's the back side of your camera. Focus. Thank you. I think my camera needs some coffee too. So I mean, this thing is just, it's designed to be the easy to work on ultimate racer. I mean, you saw me take it apart while I've been conversing here. I mean, you're going to watch me put it back together as I'm still sitting here. But as far as standardized racing goes with a set series, this thing right here would make it super easy to swap between different flight boards or different motor sets, or, you know, switch between an acro and a racing style setup. I mean, it really is an awesome little frame. Now, I only have two real concerns about it, and only one of them is actually relevant, and I've already addressed it with OAS, and we've come up with a few ideas here. But OSD. A lot of you run OSD for battery readings, and this Fox Air Aero has the built-in OSD that shows you the current battery levels. There's no way right now, I mean, I've talked to him, he's going to see if he can revise the board, but there's no way to get direct power from the PDB to the pod. Now, my solution to this, for now, unless they come up with a new idea, I mean, it's October 1st, so if they update it by then go with that. But my solution is, there's little LED pads right here that are fed direct voltage from the battery lead. All I'm going to do is run a power set of power wires from here. I'm going to hook a micro Deans or micro JST plug on it, and then I'm just going to solder the camera battery OSD wires to that wire setup, and that will give me my OSD. It's not a huge deal. The other little thing I found, if you want to run RGB LEDs, I mean, you're kind of going to have to figure something else out, because again, most RGB LEDs run 5 volts, which you can pull from the 5 volt that runs the power board, but then you're going to have that signal wire, and if you want to mount it on the bottom, you either need to have a way to disconnect it, or just have it there and never change your top and bottom. So, this frame, absolutely amazing. I was, another X frame, but realistically, once I've built it, put it together, and flown it, I mean, I thrashed this thing. I put it straight into a tree, I put it straight into the ground. I hadn't flown X frames in a little while, and I finally got out and flew this one. I mean, holy cow, it's super sturdy. You can see I've still got grass packed in there, ignore the ESCs. Super sturdy, super strong, no problems whatsoever, no flex. PDB works great. I never got voltage cutouts, I never got voltage sag. I mean, all in all, I love this frame. This thing is incredible. I mean, if you have the money, I don't care. If you're looking for a fun, awesome frame, go get one of these. This thing is incredible. It's super easy to work on. Everything has its own spot, and it's all pretty much inclusive. I mean, it looks pretty freaking clean, and honestly, I didn't do the cleanest job I could building this because I had to conserve wires and such for next builds, but this thing is wonderful. Go get one, OAS. This thing is awesome. Send me like 9 more so I can just look at them, please. One quick thing I need to address before I wrap up this review. You can see the clearances on these standoffs to the PDB are not real big. So whenever you build this, if you build this, make sure you put some heat shrink or nylon braid or tape, something between this board and this standoffs, all 5 of them, because this board is copper all the way up to the edges, and if you crash and it shifts and etc., it will short out and it will fry the PDB. So if you build one, go ahead and make sure that gets wrapped with something just to insulate it.